In this lesson, we're going to be cutting out our scroll saw silhouette. On this piece of wood, I've drawn a tree, which I'm going to turn into a Christmas ornament. Of course, you can create whatever you would like. With the scroll saw, there's a couple main features and safety precautions that we want to take into consideration before we operate the tool. This is our on switch, this is our speed control knob, and we have our air nozzle. This here is our guard. We never want to put our fingers within this circular indentations. This guard helps us with that by indicating the path of the blade. What we're going to do is we are going to lower this guard to where it is about 1/4 of an inch above the material. That way, if the wood is ever picked up by the blade when it's going up and down, it's going to keep the material from slapping up and down and getting our hands caught in there and injuring us. How we do that is we loosen off this knob in the back right here, slowly drop it down, tighten it back up again. That's all set. One of the other considerations that we're going to do when cutting out this design is we're going to cut inward from the edge into each of these corners. We are not going to turn this piece of material inside that corner because the blade will bind and then snap. I'm going to demonstrate some of these things now for you. Machine is on. We want to make sure that we've got a pretty decent speed. That is too slow. That is too fast. We want it just right, just in the middle. We're going to let the blade cut without pushing the material too forcefully towards the blade. As you can see there, I slowed down when I got to the end of my cut so that the blade doesn't snap out of the cut and break away excess material. We're going to go in here. And then we're going to shut the machine off. We always want to shut the machine off before pulling out of the material. That way the blade doesn't bind, get caught up on any of the little nooks and crannies and tear out on the underside and snap the blade. We want to pull it out as carefully as possible. As you can see there, I slowed down when I got to the end of my cut, and I have a piece of material that's left there on the table. First, I'm going to turn the machine off, let the blade come to a stop, and then remove my offcut. So I'm going to go through, do a lot of these cuts, and I'll stop periodically to let you know any pointers that I see fit when they come up. Sometimes, if you can't get underneath there, use a scrap piece or the edge of your piece of material to clear that out. You'll also see I have 2 hands firmly pressing down on the table. This keeps the material from rattling up and down. Now that I've got all my relief cuts done, I can go through, knock off all the offcuts. Again, clearing with a piece of material, not with our hands. And there you have it, your scroll saw silhouette. What we can do now is we can refine the edges down to any pencil marks if we're off by a little bit with a file and rasp, sandpaper, and then finish up by coating it with either paint or stain.